Now, this is the Veikous Galvanized steel raised bed kit. I bought a good number of these, so I figured I'd do an unboxing and talk about it a little bit. And the last ones I haven't, they seem to be packed pretty well, so haven't had any shipping damage yet or anything, so hopefully this follows that pattern. This is the 17-inch tall model. There's the 4 corners right here. They call this pearl white, but it's really kind of a very light green, which looks okay to me, but if you're really expecting a gleaming white, you might be disappointed. Each panel comes with the kind of a clear plastic coating on top of it, which isn't really mentioned in the instructions, but I think it's just to protect the pieces while they're in shipping, and that you want to pull it off before you assemble it. Which I've had a few units where it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it peeled off, but I think you want to, otherwise you have maybe a lot of garbage, plastic trash coming off in the future in your garden probably if you don't peel it off at the beginning. So there's the corners. We've got there's this rubber edge guard type stuff. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use that or not. It's supposed to go on the top of the top edge to protect any corners from scratching you. We've got here's the box of nuts and fasteners, instruction manual, some more packing material, and here's the 8 side panels. I'm not a metal master. The description said 0.025 of an inch thickness, I think. I think it's somewhere in the 28, 26 gauge range. So it's got a bit of flex to it, but it does assemble into a pretty rigid thing when you're done. I feel a little bit more confident in the longevity if it was just a bit thicker, but I have no reason to think this wouldn't last a long time. You know, time will tell, but it seems like it's got a pretty good coating on it. These fasteners are, we got like a bolt that goes through the holes. It's a 5mm hex Allen type bolt, and washer on the back, and a nut, which will take a 10mm wrench. I highly recommend having some kind of a ratcheting 5mm hex Allen driver. It'll help a lot on the assembly. The assembly, like getting this plastic off and getting all the nuts in and tightening everything is may take a little bit. It's straightforward, but may take a little bit longer than you first imagined to get it done. It's kind of cool that the configuration is pretty flexible. I think they call it the 9-in-1, so you could have a long rectangle or more of a square shape. Basically anything with 4 corners that you can do with 8 side panels. One thing I forgot to mention is that the color is pretty consistent from box to box, but I did have 1 or 2 boxes where it was just maybe a shade different, so you probably, if you got a bunch of these, you may want to make sure you just use all the pieces from 1 box together, and any differences shouldn't be too noticeable. got this unit basically assembled. I'm only using 6 of the 8 panels because it's going into a little bit of a smaller space. It'll be about 2 feet by 6.5 feet. I don't think there's really a wrong way to put these together, or at least the manual is not very helpful on providing any advice. I would recommend you think about the pattern of overlaps that you want before you start slapping things together and have to take it apart and redo it. Probably some sort of regular alternating overlap that's symmetrical. Work pretty well. Hopefully avoid introducing any wonkiness from just weird overlapping. I'd also recommend so I've got these basically finger tight. Now if you can put it on a flat surface for the final tightening, I think that's a great idea. If you try to put this totally together out in your yard, you might wind up with a bit of a twist in it or something from doing it on uneven ground. I've had good luck with first tightening the screws on the sides and then at the far ends and then the side attachment to the corners. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I got this line of 6 of the Veikous raised beds in the ground now. Got some plans to do some more, but this is phase 1. 2 of them are full, ready to go. Still got to mix up some potting soil and the other ones. I tried to have a straight, level line of beds, which it's probably not perfect, but it's within my tolerance for doing any more work about it. I left a little space between the beds and the fence just so I'm not quite on the property line, and I can run my irrigation back there and maybe get a weed whacker back there if need be. So these are all the 2x8 configuration. I left like 18 inches in between for just better access and let things bush out a little bit. Going into a hill on this side, so the dirt level gets higher, but overall pretty satisfied. I think it looks pretty good and should be a good value add for the property.